Are you exhausted by the experiences of retroactive jealousy? Do you feel that you cannot go on anymore? Understanding the nervous system basis of it can actually help you make better choices. Hi, this is Noemi. I am a retroactive jealousy specialist, and today I want to talk to you about how looking at retroactive jealousy and these experiences from a nervous system perspective can actually be quite powerful because basically we take out the blame. So one thing that happens in retroactive jealousy is that we might blame our partner that why did they do it? How could they have done it? Why do they have that past? Or maybe their exes. So kind of an external world, or we might blame ourselves for choosing them, for falling in love with them for whatever reason. So instead of that, putting that aside, looking at what is happening at the nervous system is basically there are three things that we can look at. So there's the ventral vagus state, which is when you're feeling you are actually both active and calm and feeling grounded, feeling that everything is all right in life. Yeah. So when I'm saying calm, it's not just no stress. You're actually able to work with stress. And when we talk about retroactive jealousy, there is a lot of stress that comes with it. So, and when that stress comes in and these anxious thoughts as well, then we might be talking about the dorsal, the sympathetic one. So basically, that's when you start gathering more information. That's when you want to ask even more questions, or you get angry. So basically, patterns where you're really strongly activated. And the third one would be dorsal vagal system, and that is when you are absolutely exhausted. You just can't do anything. And basically, you might actually enter it immediately. So when we talk about retroactive jealousy or RJ, then it could be that you immediately want to learn more things, and you interact with your partner, or you start stalking them. So you take action, not the best actions, but there could be good action as well. So for instance, they you could have a conversation, an integrative conversation. You are actually trying to you are telling your partner how you feel about things, how without not blaming them, not interrogating them, but actually revealing your feelings. So that can be a positive action. And saying, because you might say, can you help me with this, or can you understand me, can you love me as as uh, as as this person, basically, because you're being really vulnerable, whereas a violent thing would be to say it's your fault and blaming and shaming your partner. So that would be very, very negative uh, in the state of activation. And one of the problem with being in the sympathetic activation is that we don't actually have access to our whole brain, which means that we can't actually access our executive control. And therefore, we might say things, we might do things that we will regret, or we might actually think it's absurd that we even thought about that, we even did that, or any that has anything to do with us, because it doesn't represent the values that we have or our normal patterns. And that is a normal thing, because the sympathetic is there for survival. So uh, the lion is chasing you down the street as it does, right? And then you are running. So basically, your body is ready to either flee or to fight. And that is not a state where you are able to analyze things. You cannot access empathy, for instance, because all these things are not important for your survival. What is important for your survival is to have the strength, so basically have enough blood pumping into your limbs to either fight off the enemy or actually run away from it. So if you find yourself when you're triggered that you are doing really weird things and actually saying really weird things, that's why, because your mind doesn't function, your body, your nervous system doesn't function the way uh, it would function normally when you're in the so-called ventral vagal uh, uh, system. So or your normal way of being. And and the third one, the dorsal, is when we are kind of like totally disconnected. And that often comes after you have used the sympathetic to such an extent that you just don't have any more energy. You have used your mental reserves, your physical reserves, and actually it has an adaptive function because if you're being if the lion has chased you down and you have not been able to fight it or to run, then you're exhausted and you can go to the extent that you're no longer even feeling, right? So it's better not to feel the pain. And actually that happens. So your lion is retroactive jealousy, and your body perceives it as something that is going to kill you. It is something that is threatening to your life. And that's why it activates the body to respond to it the way it does respond to it. Uh, and some people actually immediately go into the dorsal. So you might have an automatic pattern that is not to be activated and to confront things or trying to run away, but it might be that you actually freeze. You're unable to do anything, and you might just lie down on the floor, yes, or on the sofa or whatever, and you don't even move because you don't feel that you have the energy because that's your response to the threat, to the lion in front of you. So I think this is so important to see because once we look at what is happening through a different lens, we can understand that, wait a minute, our body is trying to keep us alive. Uh, and that's why we are reacting to it. Now, the bad news is that you cannot solve things by trying to solve it from the in the outside world. So by knowing more about your partner, by knowing everything about your partner's past, by controlling things, by interrogating. Um, by stalking, all this actually makes it worse, which means that you are actually systematically, even if not intentionally, you're actually conditioning yourself. You're teaching yourself to stay in that sympathetic activation and then plummet and then go into dorsal state or be in dorsal state as a response. So what you want instead is to get back to this normal state, to this the connected state, the ventrovagal state, and you can do that either by connecting with your body, by learning more about how to bring yourself back to the present moment and disrupt the mental patterns that you're experiencing. Basically, recognizing that the lion that has been chasing you down is actually just a cat, or actually it's a picture of a cat. It's actually nothing. So recognizing that these are results of what you're perceiving as a threat to your life is actually not a threat whatsoever. But you have to uh, see see it first through what it is, so that you don't get. We often get we find ourselves in a jungle. So we get confused where to go, how to go, and then we kind of get into little patterns that help us somehow survive that jungle, but we are still in the jungle. And what you want is to get out of the jungle and start living. And you can do that by either disrupting these patterns, or by working with somebody. And and then you basically make the things that are unconsciously there, that are unconsciously driving these patterns, that are somehow trying to keep you safe, trying to give you some sort of false sense of security, and break that down. Because once that is gone, retroactive jealousy is also gone, and you can have the relationship that that you have been dreaming about, because it's already there. You just want to eliminate retroactive jealousy.